Shut up and sit down.
Hey, and welcome to the Freja MMA podcast, where it doesn't matter if you're a casual fan or a championship fighter. Join us in our discussion about the beautiful sport which is mixed martial arts. What's up, guys? We're back with another episode. I know that it's just shooting out now. It's an exciting month, what can I say? We've got a lot of UFC. Cage Warriors is coming up with their trilogy. But Superior Challenge is happening now. November 28th, Superior Challenge 21 is happening live from Sweden. You've got to check out this fight card. I mean, this is amazing talent from Sweden, top-notch talent that's going to be fighting for your entertainment. 28th of November, Superior Challenge 21. Check it out. But first, we're talking with the promoter and owner, mastermind behind the Superior Challenge, Babak Ashti. He talks about the craziness which is being a promoter at Corona times and this amazing card. So check out our interview with Babak Ashti. Okay, hello Babak. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, everyone's being affected by this Corona stuff. I know you have been affected a lot recently.
Yeah, we have.
So let's talk a bit about you at first. How did your superior journey begin?
I started back in 2005 with a clothing brand called Superior Wear. And back then, the sport was really small in Sweden, almost non-existing. So we decided to grow the sport, and that's why we initiated the first event.
So when was the first event?
We decided to produce it at the end of 2007, and the first event was held on April 4th, 2008, I believe.
So now you've gone from that to being one of the largest, or if not the largest, Swedish promotion, and one of the largest in Europe as well. I've been with you with a lot of your promotions.
The largest one in Sweden.
I'm sorry?
We are definitely the largest one in Sweden and the Nordics. Well, I think we are one of the top two in Europe.
Oh wow! Yeah, you're definitely one of the pioneers as well. You was, as you're saying, you was one of the first. There was nothing around at that time.
Yeah.
And I've been with you guys for a while now. I think Superior Challenge 17 was the first one that we actually came to and experienced it. And from promotion to the event, everything does seem like top notch over there.
Oh, thank you.
So
we try to be as professional as possible.
So is that one of your goals, like the quality of MMA?
Definitely, and it's been that way since the start, because quality is like the most important thing for all the businesses that we have in Superior. So when it comes to clothes, equipment, management, and then also the promotions, so quality is utmost important. And we have international fighters competing at the shows, so they have always mentioned that we have top international quality, and that's one of the reasons that we attract international fighters, like top fighters, to participate at our shows. So it's a good thing to be recognized by the quality, and that's the level we want to keep.
Yes, I mean, in previous Superior Challenges that I've seen, it seems to be like a thing of showcasing the best of Swedish talent, usually against a international fighter. I know recently there's been more Swedish derbies, could you say? So is that a thing to push Swedish fighters? Is that one of your goals as well?
Of course, that's the main goal with the promotion, is to promote Swedish and Nordic fighters. So the concept is to match Swedish and Nordic talents against international athletes and international stars that people have seen in UFC, Bellator, and Pride FC. And that's been the goal since we started, and that's still the goal. But of course, local matchups like Swedish derbies you mentioned are always interesting. And since we are we want to be the foremost promotion in the region. It's also important to have the top athlete and let them compete against each other to show who is the top dog. And Swedish matchup is always interesting for the local audience, and especially now when we are in the COVID situation. So it's really important that we minimize the risks. So that's why we don't have so many international fighters flying in for this show. So we try to keep it Swedish and Nordic as we can, just to minimize the risks.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. If we kind of go away from the Corona situation at the moment, I usually speak to fighters, and we do kind of discuss the whole thing of the audience only sees that 15 minutes or 25 minutes in the cage and not all of the training that goes behind the scenes. As a promoter, as well as those hours that you put on an event, how much goes on behind the scenes from your part?
Oh, I mean, for 3 months, it's like 24 hours around the clock work. So you can say at least 3 months. So it's enormous workload and enormous stress and pressure. So yeah, it's a lot to do.
That gives me more gratitude for the time that you're giving today as well. So away from MMA, what else are you interested in? I know you have other business ventures. What is a life like with Babak like?
I mean, I'm a workaholic, so I like to work and I like to create and I like to develop. So that's what I do. And I also have two small daughters, so it takes a lot of time as well. So being a dad and an entrepreneur, that's what I do.
So you sound a lot like a fighter there, with the whole thing of you can't sit still for too long. You need to be doing something all the time.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's a fighter in some way. So I'm struggling with my stuff, but I'm having fun. I mean, I love what I'm doing, especially with the MMA promotion. So that's my most largest interest. So I love doing what I'm doing, and that's what's kept me going.
Yeah. So then we get to the Corona time now. How different has it been making this event to happen?
Oh man, that's totally new ball game. I mean, it's a new experience, and it's really really tough to adapt to the current situations and regulations for each country, and also for the Swedish market, and it always changing regulations, restrictions, which you have to adapt to as well. And the hardest part is to get the show going to begin with, and get the proper permissions, and then also adapt to the spread of the virus, and try to keep it as clean as possible, medical point of view, and then also from a health point of view. And then we have the matchups. So the matchmaking is really, really tough. It's hard to just find an opponent nowadays who has the medicals, who can fly in, and so on, and can train. I mean, some countries are locked down, so people can train. And yeah, it's definitely the biggest challenge we've been through. So I mean, we are doing this for the fans, and we are doing this for the fighters. So hopefully we have this. So we will go on with the promotion as planned. Nothing will change with the restrictions here in Sweden. And I mean, we have a new concept, so we have adapted to the current situation, since we don't have to be in a traditional sports venue. We have chosen another different venue. We want to do something innovative and try to be creative. So we have chosen to be in a 30,000 big square meter big venue, which will be totally empty except for the cage, which will we will light it up from above with white light, no effect lights, and nothing around it. So it's very industrial kind of feeling. So you want to create a kind of old 70s and 80s martial arts movies and try to recreate that feeling for the audience. So we want to have a sports event, sports production, and at the same time do it a little bit creative and a little bit different. So that's why we chosen this venue. So we are trying to adapt to the current COVID situation. This idea with this new concept is to give something new to the fans, something they haven't seen before, and that's a way to adapt to the current situation, and also, of course, all the medical and safety stuff as well. So it's a big challenge. But I think, but I think this show. I mean, we have a great, fantastic fight card, and I think the new concept for the TV audience will be great.
It sounds very interesting. So that's Superior Challenge 21, which is happening on the 28th of November.
Yes.
So when this whole coronavirus scenario came upon us here in Sweden, I was thinking, when will we see the next MMA event? And honestly, I was thinking that it would be Superior Challenge that would be popping up because it is the largest in Sweden. Was you waiting to see how the scenario would go with the whole corona situation? Because you did wait a bit until this event.
Yeah, I mean, the situation is the restrictions are constantly changing, so it's tough just to keep in line with everything and understand what's happening. But we had the first show. I mean, the 21st show. This show was actually planned for May 29th, I believe, at Circus Arena. But we waited as long as much as we could before we canceled it, and eventually we had to cancel it, and we just waited after summer to see the situation with the COVID and the restrictions, and because it was forbidden to produce events before. So once it was allowed again and the restrictions was lightened and eased a little bit, so that's why we started to plan it again. Decided to announce it. So we have been doing this one for 3 months now. So we have prepared it for 3 months, and hopefully the restrictions will remain as it is now, so we can continue with the show.
Yeah, it's forever changing around here, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you did speak of the fight card as well, and it is an amazing fight card that will be topped off by two of the top Swedish competitors in Adam Westland and Tobias Harila. I can't speak any more highly of these guys. I know that they put on amazing shows. What was your thought process of making this one the main event here?
We never had the main event with two guys on this level before, but these are two young guys who are at the start of their careers, and but I mean, these are new generation of MMA fighters that will put on a show, and they take tough fights. They're not picky about the opponents, and they are here just to entertain the audience and to show the world who they are. So, I mean, with that said, I think it's going to be a great main event, and I think the audience will love it. I think both guys will put everything in the cage. And there's also a lot of hype with this fight. I mean, Adam Westlund fought Tobias Harila's teammate Robin Roos at last event, and it was a fantastic matchup. It was a great fight, a great performance by both athletes. So this is a continuance of that fight, actually, and there's a rivalry between both fighters' gyms as well. So there's a lot of prestige with this fight, and also the athletes. I mean, there are two upcomers, two promising talents, one or two of the foremost athletes we have in Sweden right now. So there's a lot on stake, and it's going to be a really interesting fight.
And then also, it's not just a Swedish-filled fight card. You do have fighters flying in from Ireland and Spain. Is it Spain or is it Spanish island there?
It's Spain, Canary Islands. But...
Okay.
in Spain. uh, yeah, we have a couple of international fighters fighting in, and Carl Albrektsson, we borrowed him from Bellator. So he's jumping in on this title fight against the housewife choice from Ireland, Chris Fields. This fight was actually planned for a couple of events ago. I think it was last year. I don't remember. But Carl, I believe, was injured or signed by Bellator. For some reason, it was cancelled. So we are picking it up again, and yeah, these guys have been waiting to clash. So this is the opportunity, and yeah, it's going to be a fantastic matchup.
So I guess you're also keeping an eye on the flight situations or the situations in their countries as well to see if they are able to fly out. But everything's looking okay right now.
Yeah, everything is as planned.
That's great to hear. So then, if I take a run down the card, obviously we have that great headline, which is Adam Westland versus Tobias Harila. You have the title fight for the light heavyweight championship with Albrektsson and Chris Fields. We have Robbie Roos versus Christian Corrido, which is another international fighter that we just mentioned there. Fernando Flores had a change of opponent quite recently. Simon Hwild is out of his fight, but you signed and put in Robert Nystrom, which I think is going to create an excellent fight there as well. Morad Moreno versus Oscar Bilo. Morad Moreno we spoke to recently, and that also is going to be a great fight. But there are a few fights here that on your website just has 2BA, so to be announced, and that is Håkan Foss and Bartos, who's going to be fighting someone. Has there been any updates there yet?
Not yet. I mean, oh man, this fight with Bartosz has been really tough to match. I mean, I have had 4 or 5 opponents lined up, ready, signed, and everything was in process of publishing the fights when we had to cancel it before we published them. So we have had a lot of bad luck with Bartosz matchups and opponents. I mean, all of them have been canceled due to COVID in some way. 2 due to illness in COVID, and 2 other in terms of other aspects related to COVID. So it's been really tough for that one. But I mean, this is nothing strange. I mean, it's fight business, and we always have to match. The matchmaking is continuous throughout the entire time before the period before the show, so we can continue. I mean, it's happened that we have matchmade the last day before the show as well, find a new opponent. So I will find a new opponent for Bartosz, but we have had a lot of bad luck with this one. And Håkan Foss, he was planned to fight David Bjelkheden for the welterweight title. Bjelkheden had to undergo knee surgery, and he's rehabilitating as we speak, and he will be back in training shortly. So we have postponed that fight for next event on May 29th at Circus Arena in Stockholm next year. So we are still looking for an opponent for Håkan as well.
Yes, and we just had quite recently announced that you're also going to be having Fadi Asfar on your show against Shoaib Kadar. Is that correct?
Yes, that's great.
That also sounds like a very exciting fight there. A few more things that I've noticed coming to your events and watching your events is the way that you do things. I'm really loving the things with the scale coming into the fight as well. I feel like that should really be something that other shows should implement in there. Where did that come from? Was that one of your ideas?
No. I borrowed it from a guy called Thomas Haranen, who is Adam Westland's coach. So he had that idea, so we just took it from him. And yeah, the idea is to show the fight, because everybody, I mean, me as a MMA fan, MMA nerd, whatever you call it, I mean, I would like always these questions that I would like to answer these questions everybody asks before a fight. How much does this guy weigh exactly now when he enters the cage? And that's actually what we are trying to show. So the idea is to visually through the graphics show the official weight of the fight, what they weighed in on the day before, and exactly what they weigh now before they enter the cage. So that's the general idea. So this is a new concept that we added for 2 shows back, and we are still developing it. So the idea is to develop it to show to visually show the audience what they weigh at the moment when they enter the cage. So I mean, it's something that undergoing a development. So we are still working on it. But the idea is going to maintain and stick with the superior production.
Yes, I thought of it a lot when you just spoke about the fight between Robin Roos and Adam Westland, which I would say is probably one of the fights of the year last year. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. But coming into that fight, Robin Roos weighed more than he weighed in naturally coming into the fight. But Adam Westland, I think, weighed less than when he weighed in. So that was a bit of a shocker there.
Yeah.
You noticed that too?
Yeah. I mean, that was a fantastic matchup. Adam Westland he has fought in welterweight, 77 kilo, and he is actually going for lightweight now, 70 kilo. So that is his actual match weight. He went and he walks around normally around, I think, 76 kilo something. Or 74. I mean, he's not a big guy. So 70 kilo is ideal for him actually. And then Robin is naturally 77 kilo fighter, a welterweight fighter. So Adam took the fight to 77 kilos. But it was a fantastic fight. I mean, I think it's one of the best fights we have had in Superior Challenge ever. And it's definitely one of the best fights on Swedish soil. I mean, I would say top 5 fights ever in Sweden.
Yeah, I'll have to agree there. And stepping away from your promoter role and coming into your fight manager role, I guess your eyes really opened up during that fight as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both guys performed exceptionally. So I was really impressed by both. I mean, the way Robin fought was really impressive, and also Adam, he was injured before the fight, and he took the fight anyway and did whatever he could. I mean, I think he had really big problems with his right leg or right knee, and both guys just showed big hearts and great athletes. So I mean, I was impressed by both. Fantastic matchup and a fantastic fight in general.
And if any viewers that are watching and have not seen this fight, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. You need to check it out. Adam Westland versus Robin Roos. Check that out, and don't forget to check out Superior Challenge.
The fights are up on all previous events are on Viaplay. So Superior Challenge has a series page on Viaplay. So you can catch it there in all Nordic countries. And outside the Nordics globally, it's on Fight TV on our series page on FITE TV.
Because I'll put links down in the description for everything. So if anyone wants to check it out, 28th of November, Superior Challenge 21. Don't forget the date. A few more things that when I was reviewing a bit of Superior Challenge a couple of years back, I'm not sure if I read it somewhere, if someone told me, but you guys were saying that you have the largest MMA cage. I'm not sure if it was in the world or in Europe. Is that still a factor?
Yeah, I believe it is. I mean, it's 50 centimeters larger than UFC's cage, so so half a meter larger.
Because I have spoken to a few fighters and I said if they would prefer to have a larger cage or a smaller cage, and a lot of them do say they want a bigger cage to be able to move around and perform properly. So I think that's a great thing that you guys are having a big cage, and I'm guessing you're keeping the same cage inside your big room.
Yeah, that's our concept. We have had this size cage since we started with cage. Yep, that's definitely not going to be smaller.
That sounds good.
Maybe bigger.
Yeah, that would be great. I think a lot of fighters would like that as well. Um, is there any kind of hate that you don't like in this business? I know there's a lot of MMA politics that goes on behind the scenes as well. Is there anything that kind of grinds your gears on that aspect?
I mean, politics and sports for me is not. I mean, I think politics are just not adding any positive to sports in any way in any sport. So I'm like, I would like sports politics to be different, especially when it comes. Now I'm speaking to about MMA. In general, I mean, sports and politics doesn't have anything to do with each other except for gaining some person or some person's own interests. I would like to see less politics in terms of connection with sports.
Yes, because I know that from when you're saying you started, I'm sure the building of the Swedish MMA Federation was side by side with your events as well.
Oh yeah.
And I guess that's a lot of paperwork added with you and the politics that goes with it. And like we spoke before with referees about not allowing elbows or allowing elbows in Swedish MMA fights and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, regulations are positive for sports. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about general. If a certain person has a personal interest in the sport and try to gain that through politics, so that's what I'm actually negative against. But I mean, regulations are really important, and just to secure the athletes' health. In that terms is really important.
Yeah, and I've seen as well, I spoke to other promotions and other promoters, and they do say about how the Swedish MMA event promoters have been building Swedish MMA together, should we say. So there isn't so much competition in between there. So if I could then ask you, you say that you are the best Swedish MMA promotion. You've been there the longest. You are the longest going. What would you say is other promotions that have captured your eyes to the point of this is going to be like Superior Challenge one day?
And you mean in Sweden?
Yes, correct.
None.
It's a different level. Is it a different level game or?
I mean, I'm not going to talk about Superior's level. It's for everyone else just to look it up. I mean, look at our fighters, look at our productions. So we are always aiming for getting better and better for each show. I'm not going to tell if we are the best or not. It's up to everyone else to decide. We just like to put on great shows and create a big promotion for our Swedish and Nordic athletes to grow their careers on. So that's our main goal, actually.
Well, we know that something must be going right. I mean, your track record with selling out venues and people watching on TV10 in Sweden, you can see that the records are being shown there.
We have produced almost around 30 fighters to UFC and Bellator who have been signed by UFC and Bellator after Superior Challenge. And we have had UFC and Bellator vets at Superior Challenge about the same amount. And 5 of our title holders was signed by UFC right after their title fights. We have a good track record. And we try to maintain a high professional level in terms of all aspects.
Yeah, I completely understand that. And As I said, if any fans are watching an event or a Superior Challenge event, they know that they're watching something special.
I hope so, because we are doing it for the fans and for the fighters. So, I mean, me as an MMA fan, I always try to think what I would like to deliver and what I would like to consume, and that's what I'm trying to give the audience.
It's always good to be a fan first, everyone, right?
Yeah.
All right, we usually give this time to give thanks to any sponsors, inspirational people, family, anything like that. So I'll give the mic over to you to do that now.
Yeah, I mean, we have a great team, so thanks to them, Superior Challenge team, thanks to all of them, it's possible to produce these shows, and I'm really happy to have these kind of people with me. And also our partners and the sponsors who have been with us since the beginning. And also the fans who have followed Superior Challenge and grown with Superior Challenge, and the fighters who bleed, and the heroes who compete at our platform.
Yeah, and once again, I want to say thank you for your time. I know this is quite a crazy and busy, as you said, 3 months for you. So again, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everyone, don't forget to check out Superior Challenge 21 on the 28th of November, live on Viaplay or Fight TV. Links will be down in the description. So everyone, don't forget to check it out. And Babak, thanks for your time.
Thank you.